Welcome to Am I an A-hole, where a guy proposes to OP, a girl 8 years younger than him, and uses her for short-term fun. He even wrote in his journal that she was only suitable for short-term fun and not long-term partnership. One day, OP accidentally found her boyfriend's journal and read all this. When she confronts him, OP's boyfriend blames her for invading his privacy. Let's dive into the story. I, 23-year-old female, broke up with my boyfriend. Let's call him Mike, 31-year-old male, a month ago when I discovered his journal in which he had written many negative things about me and my family, and he had also mentioned that I was a psycho and suitable only for short-term fun and not for long-term partnership. When I confronted him about it, he dismissed my concerns by attributing my actions to my impulsive nature and accused me of invading his privacy. For context, the story revolves around my family, so let me first tell you about my family. I have 2 siblings, one sister and a brother. Let's call him David. My brother struggles with schizophrenia and has severe episodes at times. Schizophrenia runs in my family. My late grandfather had it, but my father did not, but the curse reappeared in my brother. Currently, I am live in New York, but I originally come from Pennsylvania. Before this, I used to live in my hometown but separate from my parents and would visit my family at least once a week. I love all my family members dearly. This is the first time I have moved to another city, but I still make sure to visit them at least once a month. Here, I live in the university hostel. My ex-boyfriend, Mike, is a research fellow at a prestigious university in New York, and I am a master's student at the same university. I completed my undergraduate studies in Pennsylvania and recently started my master's here. I met Mike while preparing for a conference at the university. Mike is very charming and looks classically handsome. Any girl would want to have a boyfriend like him. We exchanged contact numbers as we were both part of the admin team. The next day, he texted me and asked to meet up in person. When I asked why, he said he would tell me in person. Thinking it might be about the conference or something else, I agreed and suggested we meet at the university cafe. However, he said he wanted to meet outside the university premises. Curious about the reason, I agreed to meet him for dinner at a nearby restaurant. Towards the end of the meal, he surprised me with a proposal, confessing that he had fallen in love with me at first sight. Though I had felt this way before, it was surprising for me, and I told him that I would take some time to make a decision. After dinner, he dropped me off, and later that night, he sent me a fairly long message expressing his feelings for me again. When I told the whole story to my best friend and colleague, she was also surprised, particularly because things were moving at an accelerated pace and there was a significant age gap between us. She said that he might have proposed to me for ulterior motives, and he could be in a serious relationship with someone else, and suggested that I must investigate him before making any decision. I was not worried much about the age gap, because it was not too significant given his charm, but his motives were a point of concern for me. So, I started investigating him, and after a week of research, I accepted his proposal. Now, I regret not investigating him more deeply, and this was a great mistake of mine. Initially, my boyfriend was amazing. I had never seen a man before who cared about his girl so much. Despite our age gap, 31M and 23F, we had open conversations about our expectations and timelines, which made me feel at ease. We even progressed to intimate bed activities after 2 to 3 weeks. He would text me daily, plan frequent dates, and surprise me with thoughtful and sometimes very expensive gifts. He also showered me with compliments whenever we were together. After 2 months, we visited my family together and spent a weekend with them. I felt incredibly fortunate to have him in my life. A month ago, for about 2 weeks, I was quite busy traveling for family stuff. Actually, I had gone home to attend a family wedding, but suddenly my brother experienced a very traumatic schizophrenia episode, and we took him to the hospital where he remained admitted for 10 days. I had to stay there to look after him and comfort my parents. When his condition improved slightly, I returned to New York. However, when I arrived, my boyfriend didn't come to receive me, stating he was very busy ATM. It was not a big deal, but I noticed a huge change in his behavior after my return from home. He started acting cold and distant. He only sent a few brief texts a day and avoided spending time together. When we did hang out, he seemed more interested in physical intimacy, but halted his usual aftercare entirely. I did mention being hurt by this and asked multiple times if he was okay, but he brushed off the matter, saying he has been tired for some time. Though the answer was not satisfactory, I had to agree because I didn't want to push him too much. This behavior continued for almost 2 weeks. During this time, I asked him multiple times about the reason for his behavior, but he always attributed it to being in a busy work season and lacking sleep. I sensed in my bones that he wanted to break up, but I couldn't understand why. After another weird sleepover, I was willing to try anything to bring back that original man in him. So, in the morning, When he got up and went for a shower, I immediately made his bed and started folding his laundry. I was doing all this to be helpful. When I went to put his clothes in the dresser, I stumbled upon a journal. When I accidentally opened it, I saw my name on a page. Curiosity got the best of me, and I couldn't resist reading it. I discovered numerous pages detailing his dislikes about me. He criticized my genetics, particularly mentioning schizophrenia, which runs in my family. A lot was about how his future children could not inherit my genetics. Though some members of my family struggle with this illness, most of them are highly functioning doctors, engineers, and scientists. I am also a very competent scholar, conducting research and studying on a Fulbright scholarship. While it may come across as self-praise, it is simply the truth. Then he went on about my schizo brother, which cuts deep, considering he had made me feel so comfortable opening up about something that has been difficult for me. Next, he went on to disparage my capabilities in motherhood down the road. His journal concluded with him deeming me suitable for short-term fun, but not as a long-term partner. When I confronted him about it, he dismissed my concerns by attributing my actions to my impulsive nature caused by the genetic effects of schizophrenia. I told him that while it was wrong to read his journal without his permission, I asked him about his perspective on me. I asked him if he didn't like so many things about me, why he was in a relationship with me, and if he was using me for his physical needs only. Despite his own deceitful behavior, he shifted the blame onto me for invading his privacy. He pushed me aside, saying I was having a schizophrenia attack and that he didn't want to fight with a psycho. It was not only deceitful, but also disrespectful and humiliating for me. I felt like I was being treated as a nympho or a sex worker, and all his gifts and dinner bills felt to me like the price of my body. After breaking up with him, I left his apartment for my hostel, regretting my decision of not investigating deeply about him and my prompt response to his proposal. After reaching the hostel, I told the whole story to my friend. She said he was wrong, but she also said I should not have invaded his privacy. I told her that I came across his journal accidentally, and I didn't have any intention of invading his privacy. I asked her whether reading someone's journal without permission was worse than cheating and using someone for physical pleasure while keeping them in the dark. This left her speechless. After remaining in depression for more than a week, now I am recovering from the shock and trying to accept what had happened to me. I recently learned from some colleagues that he still claims I'm the one who's in the wrong for invading his privacy. So if you made it this far, what do you think? AITA? OP is not an AH. Instead, her boyfriend is being a big jerk and a hypocrite. Instead of apologizing for what he has been doing, he is blaming OP for invading his privacy. OP is correct in stating that reading someone's journal without permission is not worse than cheating and using someone for physical pleasure while keeping them in the dark. It is truly insulting and humiliating. Additionally, OP's friend is also an AH. What do the Mac Reddit fans think? Is the OP an AH or not? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like the stories I brought you, just hit the like button, share them as much as you can, and don't forget to subscribe to Mac Reddit for a daily dose. Bye bye, see you tomorrow with some more spicy fries.